You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire Stick TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your sports news here first. The daily podcasts are Ken and Ken in the Morning, Lions Talk with Smoking Jeremy B, Wrestling Roundup, The Big Football Show, and more, Shield TV, Lions Villian Report, and Red Zone Ranch. The afternoon podcasts are Valhalla Hour, Broseph Sports, WCFL Dolphins Talk, The Cheap Seats, The Bodkin Show, Spirit of Detroit Podcast, and MManiacs. The nightly shows are Palace Hall Report, Frozen Tundra Network, Skull Gang 365, The Huddle Sports Network Open Mic, First and 10 with Foz, Main Event Football Show, Prime Sports World, The Man Cave, Prim and Proper Sports, Spitballing Podcast, Lions Fan Cave Chat, Puckett, 313 Den Podcast, The Guys Huddle Podcast, Shots from the Sideline, Let's Talk Sports, the Michigan Sports Truth Podcast, Off the Rails, and Detroit Lions News. Hope you like all the shows. Make sure you follow, like, share, subscribe, and comment.
Hey, my name is Ray Flores. I'm a proud and loyal member of the First and 10 Tailgate. You're listening to First and 10 with my man, the main man, Foz.
First and 10 with Foz, Chicago Bears in the mix. Rapping about football, no room for politics. From the Windy City, we bring the fire. This podcast hot, raising the bar higher. Touchdown after touchdown, we never settle for less. Breaking it down with Foz, we always bring our best. First and 10 with Foz, dance in the crowd, cheering loud and proud. Our spirits never bow. We rep that navy, blue and orange, no room for doubt. Chicago Bears legendary, no team can knock us out. No team can knock us out.
When I'm in Chicago, always a Foz.
For display. Hitting hard like a linebacker, making our way. Foz leading the charge, taking us to the top. Chicago Bears legacy, we can never stop.
What's up, Bears fans, and welcome to episode 48 of First and 10 with Foz, streaming live every week on the best Chicago Bears Facebook page, Chicago Bears Fans Forever. Maxwell, how are we doing tonight, sir?
Doing any better, it'd be illegal.
We had a little late start tonight, a little technical difficulty. Like 7:05, I had like 40 messages asking me where I'm at. It was a social experiment.
They were worried about you. Yeah,
they were worried about me to make sure I was okay. I knew I'd been upset all week about all the Caleb Williams talk.
Just had enough.
They were double checking with me. All right, guys, brought to you always by Bedrocks in Shorewood and Romeoville. Check out Bedrocks.
Bedrocks Pizza, the place to be. Hard rock tunes and craft beers for thee. Crowd is roaring, the atmosphere's hot. We'll party hard, give it all we've got. This place is our sanctuary. Shout it aloud, let the music play. Bedrocks Pizza, we're here to stay. Good times and memories never before. Under the neon lights, we're all stars.
All right, guys, the mission continues. Caleb Cares, anti-bullying organization, raising money for Caleb Cares organization this year. You'll see scrolling at the bottom of the screen the GoFundMe link. Anything you guys can do. Everyone's been super generous so far. Super appreciated. You guys have been awesome. Let's back up our quarterback on and off the field. What do we got going on in news, Maxwell? Save the date for the Bedrock show coming up in November. It's going to be here before we know it. Myself and my boy Maxwell next to me over here are going to be live at Bedrocks in Shorewood. Right now we're looking to have a former Bears player come out and do a meet and greet. Going to be a ton of specials going on, a bunch of stuff coming up as we get there closer. So make sure you guys keep an eye on the page for that. This weekend, a lot of the Fat Crew, a lot of Bears fans are traveling to Indianapolis, going with the crew over to Indianapolis. We're leaving Saturday morning. As you guys can see, we have a whole trip plan. Edgar from the crew has been super awesome with everything. It was a great price for everything. We're going to be going to breweries and bowling alleys and dinner and hotel and tailgate and the game. And former tight end Zach Taylor, the guy who almost lost his leg on the field.
Yeah.
He's a country music artist now, and he's actually going to be doing, like, I think, a little concert and a meet and greet for us, like, as part of the trip too, at some brewery.
Swanky.
Yeah, right. Oh yeah, so we're super excited for the trip. Me and Mrs. Foz are making it down this weekend. After that trip, we got the Fat Tailgate coming up for the Rams game, the next home game. Make sure you guys lock in your wristband tickets. I know we stress that a ton. They do sell out, and if you show up without a wristband, most likely not going to be able to get anything. So make sure you guys go to the PayPal, fattailgate@gmail.com. Put your name in the comments. Make sure you choose friends and family, $30 a person, and make sure to lock down that wristband because it's always a good time at the Fat Tailgate, everyone. We were supposed to have a guest tonight, Mr. Josh Havens from the Bear Cave and the Bear Cave podcast. Had a family emergency, not going to spread the guy's business, but prayers to his family, prayers to him. I hope everything's going good. And you guys are stuck with just me and Maxwell tonight, so poor you guys.
A lot of thoughts coming your way.
Lots and lots of thoughts. Going into the game, we were pretty banged up, Maxwell.
Yeah.
The injury report definitely played a big impact into the outcome of the game. Off this injury report I'm showing right now, who do you think was missing the most? I'm going to go with Keenan Allen, man. I mean,
yeah, Keenan Allen with probably a 1A of Ryan Bates because maybe you could have subbed him in at O-line at some point.
we'll get into that.
Yeah, Keenan Allen for certain. I mean, when you're, DeAndre Carter showing he's going to be a good kick and punt returner, but he's not. If he's the guy you're relying on a wide receiver, you're in trouble already.
Tyler Scott was supposed to be back this week.
My understanding was he was.
He's not even on this injury report.
I don't know if he was inactive again or they just didn't get him into the game or what was going on. But no, he was not injured. So
yeah, definitely those offensive line injury backups. I think we definitely would have made some switches at some point in the game if we had availability to make some switches. And definitely Blasingame as a fullback, man.
That's true too.
That's another offensive lineman back there. So.
Absolutely.
Oh, well. Let's get into it, Maxwell. The Bears-Texas game, we lost 19-13, and what was a closely contested, given the bad offense, still closely contested game. We're going up a powerhouse Texans offense, powerhouse Texas defense who made it deep into the playoffs last year.
Who've only gotten better.
And we held them to 19 points, and we stayed in the game the entire time, and God knows it's because of our phenomenal defense.
Yes, 100%. You went in there and played a team that's borderline Super Bowl contender.
Yeah.
Who's very, very good. Yeah. This was a game you weren't supposed to win.
Dude, remember 2 years ago after the draft, I think you and I were talking about it, like the Texans just like shit their bed, gave up everything for CJ Stroud and Will Anderson Jr. to move up in that draft. And I was like, ballsy move. It was one of the craziest first 10 pick drafts I've ever witnessed. I was like, where is Houston coming at? And man, they got CJ Stroud and Will Anderson Jr. And man, those scouts put their balls out in the wind, and it paid off, man. It
just shows how much a franchise quarterback deodorizes everything. Yeah. If you have that, everything else falls into place.
Yes, sir.
It's that simple. And they made really good free agent signings too. Hunter's a fucking polar bear on the
is a beast.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Him and Will Anderson at each corner is the best offensive line's nightmare in the entire
game. I know we're getting into it here, but yes, it is.
So given the fact of how awesome they were, they must know how awesome they are because they blitzed us 42% of the snaps, and our O-line allowed 12 pressures, 7 sacks on
probably should have been more.
Caleb Williams probably should have been more. And over 9 defensive players on the Texans finished with pressures. I mean, they were just going at Caleb Williams the entire time, and our O-line just completely shit the bed.
Yes, they were terrible. Every one of them was terrible. It's got to be some of it's got to be thrown on to the offensive coordinator too. I thought I read Dan Wiederer's piece today said that they had 54 called passing plays in that game. when your offensive line is under that much siege, that just can't happen.
No.
Even if you can't run, you have to still run, like to do your guy a favor. You know what I mean? You're not moving the ball passing either. So there's a lot of blame to be thrown around there, no doubt about it.
Dude, and definitely nothing against Swift whatsoever. But Swift is what they call an elusive running back. He's not a power running back.
No, he's not.
Like Roshan Johnson's a power running back. Khalil Herbert is a power running back.
Yeah.
More than an elusive. So I think there should have been some more switches with those guys coming in.
Maybe Roshan Johnson should see the field.
Roshan Johnson was injured though. He was out that game.
Okay, so
he was inactive. Remember, he got punched in the face on the sideline.
Yeah.
And no calls for that. And the guy stayed in the game. Remember how great that was? But yeah, I mean, definitely we could not produce anything with our offensive line. It was absolutely terrible.
Yes.
Nate Davis, I mean, let's just call a spade here. He produced a lot of these problems individually with his actions, with cueing the center, throwing Darnell Wright off at right guard. I mean, how many times have you really seen Darnell Wright get so many calls on him since he's been a Bear?
Not many, but he also had a really bad game. I know I know who he was going up against, Will Anderson, and I totally understand that. And he's still only he's only been in the league 1 year. I get that, but he got his ass whipped a lot too. And there were a couple of individual plays where there wasn't a lot of moves put on him, and Will Anderson blew by him.
Now, Will Anderson and Darnell Wright were in the same draft class, and during that draft, Will Anderson, Darnell Wright was the biggest, baddest offensive lineman he's ever gone against. So he must have studied some tape and figured out a hole there.
It was almost like it's like a chain. So when one link fails, they all seem to just kind of fail on this offensive line. And I'm not just singling out Darnell Wright because Coleman Shelton, I don't know if he's an NFL center at this point. He was terrible again. Tevin Jenkins did not look good in this game either.
No.
It's a collective failure, and I don't know what you do.
I wish I had an answer, man. I really wish I do. And we'll get into that once we get deeper into after the game. So basically, dude, the O-line doesn't work. What else doesn't work when the O-line doesn't work?
Everything.
Nothing else fucking works.
No.
Your QB, you cannot expect him to be good. You cannot expect him to make plays. You can't score points. Your running back can't do anything. And if QB's not doing anything, how the hell are the wide receivers supposed to do anything? So against the team with the Texans, how strong their defense is and how bad our offensive line is, definitely you can't put any blame. I mean, you can put some blame, but overall, what do you expect the kid to do back there? I mean,
no, agreed. I'm not going to put a lot of it on him, but there were definitely some missed throws, and I'm not saying there weren't some drop too. He overthrew a couple, underthrew a bad one to DJ Moore.
What quarterback doesn't at some point in any game?
Oh no, I'm not ripping. It's not Caleb Williams' fault. Listen, the offense looked good in the first half. I don't know what the hell happened, but that first drive was excellent. They were in rhythm. Williams is making his throws. It looked smooth. They went down and got a field goal, tied the game right up. It's like, okay, this is how it's supposed to look against a very, very, very good team. And then it just kind of collapsed like quickly from that, especially the second half. I mean, they didn't have an offense in the second half. So your defense is playing up a hill immediately.
Let's hear some comments out there. Everyone got a guest today. Let's get into some more of the comments.
Absolutely.
We got Harvey Adams. That place has good looking food. That is Bedrocks, my friend. And it's not just good looking, it's good tasting, my friend. We have Tiffany, Miss Presidente of ESF in the house. What's up, sweetheart? How are you? Ruben, love your shirt, Foz. Thank you, sir. Charles Tillman, Peanut Punch Man. Hopefully a next Bears Hall of Famer.
That'd be great. Saw a few of those in a few games this week.
Look at this guy, Arturo Fong. Fuck T Bears. Well,
okay. All right.
Appreciate you being here, even though you don't like the Bears, man. Appreciate your support.
Cool.
Fire everyone and hire Bill Belichick.
No. Listen, this is 2 weeks into the season. We don't need to do this overacting stuff already. Waldron is still learning the offense and his players. It's just this is not. Listen, if they have a pretty easy, I don't want to say easy, but the next 6 games here will be able to tell the team.
Yeah.
If they all look bad in all these, then we got a problem. Yeah. But no, come on, that's stupid.
Fire Ryan Poles and Matt Heber.
Here we go already. I mean, listen, why am I being the positive?
2 games in, we're 1-1.
1-1.
We lost to a powerhouse by 6 points.
Does any realistic fan think that the Bears are going to go in there and smoke the Texans?
No. I had them as a loss before the season started.
And we were in the game till the end. to the last drive because your defense is fucking excellent. So let's not overreact here already.
I get it, Arturo. We're all upset. We all expected the Bears to come out. And
Yes.
we wanted to see that Mahomes-nish, I'll call it, of Caleb Williams within the first game. I mean,
Sure.
Who as a Bears fan didn't want Caleb Williams to come out and throw 5 touchdowns in the first game and us look like this powerhouse? And
listen, Williams looked smally, incrementally better this game.
Yeah.
He didn't look as bad as he did in that first game. The first drive was excellent. Yes, it got bad.
Yeah.
It went bad. I mean, those guys were just, it was like 2 polar bears running at him all game long. I don't
keep the comments coming, guys. Let's have fun with this time. I think a lot of Bears have a lot of stuff Bears fans have a lot of stuff to get off their mind, and I don't blame you. Let's talk about it.
Sure.
What's up with Herbert? I mean, Herbert definitely lost his spot to DeAndre Swift, and I think
that's fine.
I think with a solid offensive line, rightfully so. DeAndre Swift is an elusive back. I mean, he showed that in Detroit. He showed that with the Eagles.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he is a solid number 1. Is
Absolutely.
Khalil Herbert a solid number 2?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Do I think Khalil Herbert should have been in that game more on Sunday night because he's more of a power back? Most definitely.
Let's just be thankful he was in there and Velus Jones wasn't.
No.
Just saying.
Velus Jones was not even active.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Let's be thankful Herbert was in there. He scored that touchdown.
Yeah, we look good on paper, but we can't get the wide receivers the ball. I mean, that's all it has to do with the offensive line, man. Like
here's one thing I'll challenge. You played an excellent front end, inside interior Titans defense.
Mm-hmm.
You have maybe the best outside ends in football in the Texans.
Mm-hmm.
You hung in both games. You won one, you lost one. Mm-hmm. It's not a big deal. The offense, I get it. The offense did not look good. But one thing that did show is your defense is Super Bowl caliber. Mm-hmm. They're excellent.
Yep.
So take the good with the bad. Yes, the offense does not look good. We're all upset about it. We're pissed off about it.
I think the problem is, and it's not that nobody's not happy about how great our defense is. It's just that same old rewritten Chicago Bears story of the phenomenal defense and the offense.
It's our Bears offense PTSD that we all suffer from. And I get it. And I'm with all of you.
Yeah.
But just remember, it's still September. It's 2 games in. These teams don't practice as hard as they used to. Preseason is a waste anymore. Mm-hmm. The first 2 or 3 games are usually our preseason. Now, this week coming up, if it doesn't look better and we don't still have a run game, now we have a problem.
We'll talk about the Colts game coming up, my friend. So let's get into Caleb Williams since he's the hot topic of the weekend. Apparently, we should bring back Justin Fields because he's 2-0 for the Steelers. And
that's great.
Now we should have never got rid of Justin Fields. But let's just talk about numbers on paper for right now. Caleb Williams, 23 for 37, 174 yards, 2 interceptions, sacked 7 times, and had a 51 overall QB rating. Definitely horrible stats. He has not had a touchdown in either games. He's had 2 touchdowns dropped.
Yes, Rome dropped one this week.
Which nobody wants to talk about. No one wants to talk about how that dropped touchdown possibly could have won us the game with the way that game was going. But again, that's not the fun topic to talk about. Fun stats here. So Caleb Williams was blitzed 48% of the time, like we talked about earlier on. So when he was being blitzed, he only went 3 for 12 with 15 yards, threw an interception.
Sure.
He went down 5 out of those 7 sacks while being destroyed and couldn't do anything. Now, when he had protection and he was in the pocket and he wasn't running scramblers for his life, he went 20 for 25.
Sure.
159 yards. He did throw 1 interception that DJ Moore won, which I think DJ Moore could have contested that a little bit more because he was right there. That's just my opinion, though. And yeah, you see the difference of a quarterback. I mean, I heard so many people this week so far talking about he needs to scramble, he needs to run, he needs to get out of the pocket. He is not Justin Fields. He doesn't want to be Justin Fields.
No, he's not as fast.
And we don't want to turn him into Justin Fields. The best quarterbacks in the league are pocket quarterbacks, dude. Even Lamar Jackson doesn't want to run anymore.
No. And they try. I mean, I get it. Like the called, like moving pockets and getting him out outside the pocket to help him. And that, yes, he does seem to flourish in that area. Also, if you notice, usually when you have a bad rush and you cannot protect your quarterback, you start calling more screenplays. They did. Those all got blown right the hell up. So yes, everything needs to look better. We get it. Shane Waldron needs to call a better game. You can't call 54 pass plays when your guy's completely under siege. You've got to get the best thing for Caleb Williams is to have it just league average offensive line play and a run game get going. That's key. That's key for him.
Mm-hmm.
Then he gets more comfortable. Then it isn't relied on him to make every single goddamn play.
Agreed. No, fully agree. The screen passes gave me a little Luke Getsy.
Agreed.
Throwback scary.
Agreed. But if you guys can't stop anything and they're coming anyway, you might as well call a screen pass. Yeah. I mean, you know what I mean? Because he's not going to have time. So
what other option do you have besides
you don't have much
dump it off?
when you can't run and you can't block? I don't know what else you can do.
Dude, then everyone of course comments about the tight ends too, Mercedes Lewis and Cole Kmet.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, when they're playing the 6th and 7th man on the offensive line trying to stop these guys that our front five couldn't. So they have no abilities to go out there and be receivers when you're trying to stop these guys who got through from killing Caleb Williams.
100%. It all ties in together. It starts at your offensive line, and it's a hearts of cards. Once it collapses, it all collapses. So, we all want to see Cole come out in the game more. We gave him a bunch of money. He was great last year. We want to see everyone look better. I mean, it isn't like,
dude, you can pinpoint Caleb Williams outside the offensive line for a lot of things so far. No touchdowns, the underthrows, the overthrows. But the number one thing that stands out the most is he's in 2 games, he's been sacked 9 times.
It's too many.
9 times. 9 times. 9 times.
How in the world is this kid going to last at this rate if our offensive line keeps performing the way it's been performing?
He's not.
Dude, as soon as the game was over with, I went back and watched everything, saw all the sacks, watched all the video, watched all the tape. And I said to myself, if this offensive line is like this the next game or the game after, the kid's most likely going down with some sort of injury.
There was one, I think it was Daniil Hunter, that came off the edge almost untouched.
Yeah. Darnell Wright completely blew that.
He swallowed Caleb Williams. I didn't even see Caleb Williams. I didn't think he was going to get up. Yeah. There was one, I don't know if that was the same one, but there was one hit that I thought, oh boy, his bell got wrong. I don't think he's getting back up. He took a beating all game long. And if anyone wants to complain about Caleb not being tough too, he proved that he's a pretty tough dude because he took an absolute beating all game long.
Most definitely. Raider Rhino, hello, sir. How are you, sir? Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching our Bears breakdown right now, sir. No, I totally agree with you, man. He was getting eaten up out there. He even said in his press conference right afterwards, like, I'm hurt, man. Like, I'm hurting.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
A kid got a hurting put on him. I mean, in those type of scenarios where you're just being completely bombarded, how many opportunities are there for you to go down the wrong way?
Sure.
Bend the wrong way.
Absolutely.
The knee, the ankle, the hip. I mean,
absolutely.
We're just putting ourselves in that scenario.
It's got to, if there's a positive, the next couple opponents shouldn't have those kind of defensive lines. So we weathered the bad part of the storm here. Hopefully that they figure it out here this week. You're not playing as good a team. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what else we can even really say about the offensive line other than they suck. I mean, so that's.
See my boy. Yeah, I saw your fucking boy Max Crosby. He sucks. I hate him. No, I'm just joking. I love him. He's so good. I want him.
He's really good. He's really good.
Max Crosby's the best, dude. Aaron Booker on paper is supposed to be an upcoming Max Crosby-ish player. So
we'll see.
Let's hope we get something, even a quarter of Max Crosby out of that kid. It'd be awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Let's continue on with the shit. DeAndre Swift, our running back, like we talked about earlier, you can't create a hole. You can't block defenders. You can't run the ball, man. 14 attempts for 18 yards in the backfield. Couldn't do anything, man. Continuing the narrative of the bad night, man.
Yeah.
Everything came back to the offensive line. Mm-hmm. And then secondly will be Caleb Williams still getting comfortable as a quarterback in the NFL.
Sure.
But I will put the percentage of the problem 80% the offensive line and 20% Caleb Williams, in my opinion.
Sure. I mean, Shane Waldron deserves some of the blame too as the offensive coordinator. He's got to call a better game. He's got to get better packages in there for these guys. He's got to protect Caleb more. If you see your offensive line is this awful, there's blame to spread throughout the entire offense. Roman Dunze ran a bad route on the last, on that last play. He admitted after the game. DJ Moore said I could be doing a lot more too. There's plenty of blame to go around, man.
What about the DJ Moore mouthing something?
I saw that. I mean,
I
who
watched
knows?
it a million
Who knows?
times,
He could have
yeah.
said anything. It may not even been
I don't
Tyson
know.
Bagent. He just happened to be in the area, so it's one of those social media picks it up, and it's probably a whole lot of nothing.
We need to keep our composure. We need to not get so frustrated out there. We need to stay in the game. I feel like there was a lot of frustration happening,
Sure.
rightfully
Offensively,
so,
yes.
offensively. But we were still in that game, and
Mhm.
that's no time to lose our composure,
Mhm.
start freaking out, getting super emotional.
Mhm.
Like, you're down by 6 going all the way till the end of the game. Dude, save that emotion for after the game's over and you technically lost.
Sure.
But otherwise, you should be on the sidelines, getting pumped up, getting your team pumped up, getting the offensive line pumped up, most definitely.
Yeah, I guess, or conserve the energy because you're getting your ass beat so bad. So you might as well have a seat and grab all the oxygen you can get.
I mean, technically, yes, you were physically getting your ass beat so much, but in the game, the points, you were not getting your ass beat. I mean, you stayed in the game all the way till the very end, man.
Yeah.
Like I said at the beginning, I think it would have been a little bit more helpful with Keenan Allen out there helping out.
Sure, another veteran out there. Absolutely.
Again, they know we were going to be relying on DJ Moore a lot more with Keenan Allen being gone. So,
big props to Rome, though. I know he didn't have a good game, but that he even went out there and played is incredible to me.
Yeah, he's a rookie.
Sprained
Second game
MCL.
ever.
I mean, that could be a month ender.
Yeah, he knew Keenan Allen was going to be out. He said, "My team needs me."
That's Studley.
Yeah, dude. Bright future is still ahead, man. Anything negative? That
I'm not even going to get negative about it. I'm just going to chalk it up to it's September. It's still early. You played a team that could go to the Super Bowl and it would surprise nobody.
Yeah.
You hung in the whole game. You had a bad game. Let's move on.
Yeah. We're going to move on from that game, but before we get into talking about the Colts, I mean, I'm going to go off on a little tangent. I'm pretty pissed off, embarrassed by these fucking meatball social media people who call themselves Bears fans out there, dude. It's really aggravating to not see us supporting our team right now after 2 games, one of which we won. The second we lost by 6 points to one of the best teams in the NFC. And now it's fuck Caleb Williams, he paints his nails, and Breen Fields back, and fire this guy. Like, dude, what kind of fan are you? You call yourself a fan of this team. Like, if you're going to turn that fast, what are you going to do when Caleb Williams throws 5 touchdowns in one game?
I'll be licking peanut butter off.
Yeah, exactly. Now it's Caleb Williams is the next Patrick Mahomes. Like, you sound ignorant when you say stuff like that, especially like if you watch the game of football, anyone who understands the game of football knows that the majority of those problems are coming from a broken down offensive line. And if you think that it wasn't because of that offensive line, you need to understand the game of football that you're actually watching, because you can't do anything when you got 500-pound men in your face trying to kill you in 2 seconds from the snap. It's just not possible. Dude, you could have had Tom Brady and Walter fucking Payton behind that offensive line, and they would have looked like bums during that game.
Well said. I don't disagree with anything you're saying.
Come on, Bears fans. Do better out there. Be better. Cut the shit.
I'll take a page off Aaron Rodgers' book from a few years ago. Relax.
Yeah.
Just relax. They're 1-1. They played 2 really good defenses. They won one of them. They lost one barely. Calm down.
Yeah.
Just calm down. Take it easy. Now, listen, we start getting into these next 6 weeks here where we think the Bears should look pretty good. They don't. Okay. Now we got a problem. It's 2 weeks in September. Not a big deal.
Do you think these players need fans turning on them after week 2? With a brand new offensive coordinator, a brand new rookie quarterback, a brand new offense, new receiving core, a new offensive line that was just pieced together this offseason. I mean, everything's brand new, and we're 2 games into the season. And like what? Just because we're not out there just dominating 42-5, like
I think it's a loud minority is all it is. And these people aren't real fans anyway. They just want to be as negative as possible. Listen, there are still Cubs fans that are mad that they fired Rick Renteria and got Joe Madden. There's these meatball fans that are out there that just they live to be negative.
Yeah.
It's the social media doom scrollers. Like,
I don't understand why you even waste your time dedicating yourself to watching, following, when all you're going to do is shit talk and be negative about something you claim to love and be passionate about.
We're all frustrated.
Yeah,
None of us, all of us wanted to come out and look better.
Who didn't?
Who didn't? It didn't.
Yeah.
There's 1-1. It's no big deal.
The Bears fans out there right now, keeping it positive, are no less frustrated,
Of course.
than the ones out there going
Just
ballistic.
Relax.
Yeah, just relax.
It's the professional football. That other team is playing against them too, and they're good. So
the world is not right now. The Vikings are 2-0 and in first place.
I told you that fucking team will find a way to win games.
Did anyone out there watch the other NFL games this weekend? After the morning games are over, I texted Maxwell. I was like, how's your confidence pool doing right
Disaster.
now? Yeah.
It's in flames.
Yeah, San Francisco loses on the road
To Minnesota.
to Minnesota.
How about last night?
Yeah.
The Eagles just shit the bed in the last drive
the
of the
Falcons
game.
just beat the Eagles on Monday
Kirk
Night
Cousins came
Football.
out there looking like Tom Brady and Joe Montana combined on that last drive last night. The week one, Kirk Cousins didn't even look like he had two legs.
Exactly.
So
I'm telling you, like,
early season football, it's like early season baseball. Just relax.
Yeah.
If it's bad by week 8, then we've got a serious problem.
Yeah.
But
I'll even say by week 6 if it's bad. Like
honestly, these next 2 weeks are going to be a big test.
Yeah.
We get out of September, we're 2-2, and then it doesn't look any better. Okay, fine. Then
Sure.
we'll all start complaining together. But
Yeah.
until then, it'll be all fine.
The complaints are not validated after week
And if you're
2.
really upset about the offense looking bad, and we all are, just remember the defenses look fucking phenomenal. They've been just calm down.
Just calm down.
Yeah.
Calm down, people. Just love the Bears. Be a fan.
Enjoy the ride.
Yeah. Give it till week 6, and then we can just sit there and just go on the fire everyone tangent with you, because at that point, at least you'll be a little bit more justified. But let these kids get their feet wet. Let everyone get established, and let's get into at least like the first half of the season, first quarter of the season, before we start calling for executions. All right?
Absolutely. I mean, 2 weeks ago, we were all licking Ryan Poles' ass, so everyone calm down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which we still should be because of the fucking defense that they put together. Look at our fucking defense right now.
And potentially the offense minus the offensive line, which we both talked about was
and our offense on paper, no one was complaining about any of the moves we got. So
it's just the way of sports fandom. It's the way it's going to be.
I am calling this Colts game, dude, a complete redemption for the Chicago Bears.
A get-right game.
This is going to be an extremely get-right game for the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get into the condition of the Colts, my friend. The Colts, they're coming off a 10-16 loss to the Packers. The Packers defense held them to 10 points at home. And they're sitting at 0-2 right now. Anthony Richardson coming back after season-ending surgery his freshman year. He's still basically getting his feet wet in the NFL because he barely even played last year.
Absolutely, he is.
17 for 34. He only threw 204 yards, 1 touchdown, and he had 3 interceptions against Green Bay's defense last week.
Who looked like shit week 1.
Yeah,
so,
and what are you going to do against Jalen Johnson and Stevenson and Brisker?
And
Kyler
Gordon.
And Kyler Gordon.
All of a sudden, their front defensive lines look good. So,
and you just threw 3 interceptions against a very mediocre Green Bay defense. Dude, they have the running back Jonathan Taylor. We shut down the run game, man. We did it against Mixon, who was coming off almost a 200-yard game. We shut him down. And then they have Pierce and Pittman as their 2 wide receivers. Stevenson and Johnson. Let's call it a day, dude. You know what I mean?
Anything thrown near Jalen Johnson right now is getting shut down.
Plus, it was just announced today the best defensive lineman on the Colts, Buckner, is going to be out for the game for an ankle sprain.
It's huge.
So now they've lost their best defensive lineman against our horrible offensive line from last week. And overall, right now, as of today, they're ranked the 23rd defense out of 31 in the entire NFL. They are the bottom of the barrel.
They've been bad, and they've been really bad against the run. So if you want to look at some positives here, they're missing their best defensive player, and they gave up like over 200 yards rushing to the Packers, and Packers didn't even have a quarterback last week, period. So if you're ever looking at a positive going into a game where you had a tough loss, this is one of them. This is a bad defense that gives up a shit ton to the run, and DeAndre Swift should be a premier player this week. He should have 50 rushes this week. It shouldn't be the other way around.
100%. And that'll open up great opportunity for play action, for Caleb Williams to be utilized to throw those deep passes to DJ Moore.
Play action, you said it.
Hopefully Keenan Allen's back in the mix. Adunze's feeling better. I mean, we have a lot of injuries too, people.
No doubt.
Off the season.
But this is one you can get by without Keenan Allen. This should be a game where you go in there, and I'm not saying they're going to win 40-0, but this should be a game they go in and win. I think.
Dude, 100%, man. 100%. I definitely don't see the Bears losing this game whatsoever. And I really think is going to be a momentum builder for this offense to finally get on track, get their feet settled, and see what works for them.
I agree with you.
So, Bears' key to success, obviously, is the fucking offensive line. Block, people, block. So,
and quickly about the offensive line
Yeah.
too, if you don't mind. Everyone's saying that we should make all these changes right now, and I mean, we all. I get it. You know, we all play Madden too, and we all we go out and trade if one guy's bad or hurt. But that's just
turn off that trade.
it's just not how it works. And like, you know, I know that everyone's talking about Karan Amagaji who's coming off, but he hasn't played football in like 10 months. He was always drafted to be a project. He was never drafted to come in as a starter.
No,
so
100%.
not you. I don't mean you. But like I've seen his name mentioned so much this week. He hasn't even really practiced much. So like, you can't just take him from not even playing an actual football game for I think it was 10 or 11 months and put him in and expect him to be better. He's not. He could wind up being better eventually, but he's not. You're going to roll with the 5 guys you got right now because Ryan Bates is hurt. If anything, you would put Bates in at center and I guess keep Nate Davis. I don't know right now what you do there at right guard, but
I think that's the question too. Like myself complaining, everyone complaining about the offensive line. What do you realistically want the Bears organization as of today?
There's nothing they can do right now. No. Did Ryan Poles maybe not address as much as he should? That's possible.
Yeah.
Did he maybe draft a wrong guy or sign a wrong guy? Well, obviously with Nate Davis, we did. It could be like me and you talked about. He's good at scouting everything else. That just could be a blind spot for him. And maybe he's drafting guys that remind him of him because he was an offensive lineman. I don't know.
I don't know what happened to Nate Davis. He was solid. Then he had that leave.
Yeah.
And then he missed training camp. And then he wasn't practicing. And again, like personal business is your personal business. But whatever happened.
Obviously, it's something because it's 2 years now going on this, and it looks like a really bad signing.
It could be my toenails broken guy. I mean, we don't know, man. We don't
Could
know.
Could be.
It could be something mental with a family member, his wife, whatever.
It could be.
Yeah.
So, like anyone saying, well, we should trade a 3rd round or 2nd round pick for this guy. That doesn't happen right now. It's 2 weeks into the NFL. We get around the trade deadline, maybe that'll happen. But it's like trading for a catcher. It's tough. They got to learn a whole new system. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just, it's not realistic. It's just not.
Are we cursed with the orange jerseys, Maxwell? Is it because we go out there looking like a big ass highlighter that we just lose these games? I mean, we've only won 1 game.
Yeah.
Wearing the orange jersey since they've been introduced.
I do like the orange helmets though.
The orange helmets are dope. I'm not gonna lie there.
Yeah, the orange.
I miss the Monsters of the Midway jersey.
The all navy with the orange numbers.
Yeah, dude,
those are cool.
Those were the best, dude.
Yeah.
Back in the mid 2000s.
Yeah.
Peanut, Urlacher, there was like the Monster of the Midway alternate jersey. Those are the best. Dude.
Yeah, those are cool.
And I think everyone agrees those are the best jerseys. Let's just stop dressing like we're doing construction on I-55 here and get a fucking cool jersey back.
Yeah, if they're not good for you, don't wear them. I guess if you're into those kind of superstitions, I don't know. They're all right, I guess. Yeah. Around Halloween time. Yeah. I don't know. They're all right, I guess.
Yeah. What are you gonna do, Maxwell? What are you gonna do? Here we go. We got a couple meatball comments right here. Williams fans chose this. We told you.
Cool.
Trade for Justin back.
Okay.
Yeah. All very logical, sensible things.
Sure. Well, people equate with, hey, I can do it on Madden. Why don't they do it in the NFL? Yeah. And it's just not how it works. It's not. You're not going to do that 2 games in the season. Teams don't even know what they are yet, really. So other than the Panthers.
People just see the headlines. Justin Fields quarterback, Steelers 2-0.
Yeah.
I've watched both of those Steeler games personally. He's running 60 to 70 yards, and he's running when he should be passing, even when the offensive line's blocking. He still can only throw towards the sideline. He can't throw up the middle. He can get them in the red zone, but he can never close and get a touchdown. And it's always the field goal unit coming out.
Yeah.
And that's how they've won these first 2 games so far. Justin Fields is still the same Justin Fields last year that he is with the Steelers.
And the Steelers are the Steelers, and Mike Tomlin's Mike Tomlin, and they always find a way to win 9 to 10 games every single season, no matter who's that quarterback.
I think that's the biggest difference is with Mike Tomlin and that organization, they're going to find a way to win with Justin Fields playing that game.
And they're going to
where the Bears organization could not find a way to win with him playing that way.
Well, because I mean, listen, we're not going to fucking
sure
rehit history here, but I mean, Yeah, good for the Steelers. Good for him. Hey, listen, I want him to play more. First off, I want him to do good because I always really liked him.
Yeah.
And secondly, I want him to play more because that's looking more and more like a 4th-round pick every week. So from the Steelers that we're going to get.
Most definitely, dude. So, I mean, we got the curse of the orange jerseys. And right now, dude, I mean, it's very early on in the season, but we still have some sweet draft picks coming up next year in the 2025 draft. I mean, I can't see us at this point going anywhere besides the first 2 picks as offensive linemen.
Oh, I don't see any way around it. I mean, I want
you
them.
need a center and you need a left guard, most definitely, dude.
Yeah, and as long as Tevin Jenkins, left tackle. Listen, there's no one other than maybe Darnell Wright. There's no one on the offense.
Darnell Wright was the only one I would probably keep on the entire.
Oh, 1,000,000% keep Darnell Wright. He had a bad game. That's fine. He played against a world-class guy and he got his ass beat. That happens. That happens in the NFL. Guys are going to have bad games.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't see any other glaring needs, so I don't see any way you would do anything but just draft, sign, draft, offensive linemen. They better.
So I think it's going to be a victory, like I said, for the Bears versus the Colts this Sunday. I'm going to go with 20-13. I think the Bears are going to score 2 touchdowns and get 2 field goals. And I think that the Bears defense is going to hold Indianapolis to 1 touchdown, allow them to get into field goal range twice. But I think it's going to be another low-scoring game, 20-13, Bears victory.
I was going 23-13 Bears. So
23-13, there we go. We're on the same page.
Yeah, I think you get your running game going, makes Caleb more comfortable. This defense is not nearly as good as those two. So hopefully this is a definite get-right game and everything is real smooth from here on out.
Yeah, come on, guys. Let's stand by our team. We the entire thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you're a Sox fan right now, be cynical. If you're a Bears fan right now, 2 weeks into the season
Still
where you're
should be
1-1, dude, you need to slow your roll.
Definitely still be optimistic.
All right, Maxwell. Next week, we'll be breaking down the Colts game. We're going to prepare for the Rams back at Soldier Field. We're going to have a pretty fun guest next week. I was telling Maxwell about this. We're going to have Larry Schechter. He's an author of a book called The History of Fantasy Sports. He spent the last 18 months researching fantasy sports from football to baseball and how it started in America and how big it's came. He's also known as one of the top fantasy baseball players in the entire country, too, on top of it. So he's going to be on talking about the book and talking about personally football and fantasy football with the show. And he actually mentioned something he's going to talk about next week, how Dick Butkus was actually part of implementing fantasy football, which I had no idea.
Didn't either.
I thought that was pretty cool. So he'll be on next week with me and Maxwell, like I said, breaking down the Colts game and talking about the upcoming Rams games. Let's stay positive, guys. Let's go out there and root for our Bears. We're coming home with a victory from Indianapolis.
Damn right.
God damn right we are. All right, you guys know the drill. Bear down, baby.
Bears.
Thank you, and go Bears!
Bear down!
From Harrison and Wabash we rise, tailgating with excitement under the skies. The Foz is leading the way with Billy from the van, rapping jazz, dancing to the Chicago plan. Surrender Mandos is feeling the beat. Our baby bear and mama bear never defeat. Deaf, bear, and also roaring loud, and the stereo lurking among the crowd. The Palace Tower, a symbol of might. Chicago handshake under the night. What is your profession? We ask. Legends of the game, a formidable task. Devin has to speed, behold. Mongo and Datum will never fold. Sweetness and Peter, heart of steel. Dick Buckers and Mike Dicker, the real deal. Super fans cheering with passion in the air. From Harrison and
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire Stick TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your sports news here first. The daily podcasts are Ken and Ken in the Morning, Lions Talk with Smoking Jeremy B, Wrestling Roundup, The Big Football Show, and more, Shield TV, Lions Villian Report, and Red Zone Rank. The afternoon podcasts are Valhalla Hour, Brosef Sports, WCFL Dolphins Talk, The Cheap Seats, The Bodkin Show, Spirit of Detroit Podcast, and M-Maniacs. The nightly shows are Palace Hall Report, Frozen Tundra Network, Skull Gang 365, The Huddle Sports Network Open Mic, First and 10 with Foz, Main Event Football Show, Prime Sports World, The Man Cave, Prim and Proper Sports, Spitballing Podcast, Lions Fan Cave Chat, Puckett, 313 Den Podcast, The Guys Huddle Podcast, Shots from the Sideline, Let's Talk Sports, the Michigan Sports Truth Podcast, Off the Rails, and Detroit Lions News. Hope you like all the shows. Make sure you follow, like, share, subscribe, and comment.